I'm really excited now to introduce our inaugural speaker, Dr. Nitin Kochar, who has graciously accepted our invitation to speak on today's podcast. Thank you, sir. He's an MD in Ayurveda medicine with nearly 30 years of practice in Mumbai. Dr. Kochar has served as an honorary consultant in pharmacology and clinical pharmacology, and he was an investigator at the Tata Memorial Hospital, where he worked on clinical trials of herbs like curcumin, ashwagandha, and cannabis in cancer treatment. He currently now consults at the University of Mumbai and KGMP Ayurveda Hospital. He teaches the ancient Indian knowledge to master students also. Dr. Kochar has received several accolades, including the Sandhu Dhanvantri Award and Times Best Ayurveda Award in 2020 for his contributions to Ayurveda, particularly in cancer care. So today's discussion will center around a very, very crucial topic, that is Ayurveda and the significance of diet in cancer. We'll explore the role of diet and herbs in mitigating cancer risk, and also how they boost the metabolism, immunity, and how they can improve the quality of life of patients, and how can they help in preventing metastasis and relapse. Hello and welcome, Dr. Kochar. Thank you so much for joining us. We are eager to hear about your perspectives and all of your research initiatives. Let's start by exploring how certain diets may elevate cancer risk. So I was also at the AACR annual meeting this year in San Diego, and there was a significant focus on cancer prevention. There were so many posters and talks that I saw that highlighted clinical studies that were revolving around like high-fat diets or animal-based diets and sugary diets and how they can increase cancer risk and a lot like variety of cancers. They were all across all types of cancer. And these are some concepts that is not new to Ayurveda, not new to us, concepts that Ayurveda has recognized for a long time. So before we break down each of these dietary factors from Ayurvedic and modern biology perspective, Dr. Kochar, could you share your thoughts on the importance of oncoprevention?
Yeah. Thanks, Radhika, and thanks for inviting me on your this esteemed podcast. Yeah, so what we suggest that prevention is always better than cure. That is an age-old adage we all know. But this specially applies to the cancer. We do not deny the chemotherapy, surgery, radiation, whatever conventional treatment has to be taken if appropriate. If patient is suitable, there are no contraindication and advised by non-commercial ways, it has to be done. But cancer treatment is not complete unless and until you add a fourth pillar, very important pillar called oncoprevention. I will tell you why. Based on the data published by American Cancer Society, last year, 2023, almost 20 million people died worldwide. This data is based on the survey of 115 countries. So if you divide it by the days, so almost 26,300 people died because of the cancer, okay, per day. In India, almost the NICR, what they say that almost 2,700 cases approximately die every day. In USA, around 1,600 or 1,800 people die every day because of the cancer. So definitely, if you discount the heart attack, the cardiac arrest, which is inevitable at the end of the life. Okay, if you discount that, according to me, cancer is the number one cause of the death today. Now, all these death, 90% of this are because of the relapse of the cancer or recurrence of the cancer, and or because of the spread or the metastasis of the cancer, and not just because of the primary tumor. So 90% death is because of the spread and relapse. Okay. Number of people, those who are treated, they also face, the functional morbidity. Somebody has lost limb, somebody has lost eye, somebody has lost lung. So there is definitely a great financial burden. Patient has to take medicine lifelong. Okay. The working hours are also lost. And all these things can be prevented if you add a pillar of oncoprevention. So you can prevent the spread, you can prevent the metastasis, and it will play a very important role in the management of cancer. So this is what about all oncoprevention, the treatment which prevents the initiation, growth, and the spread or we say the treatment which prevent the initial the trigger of the cancer, then multiplication or the growth, the cancer cells, they multiply, and also the spread of those cells from one system to other. So this is oncoprevention. So this term was coined in somewhere 70s by Michael Spom. Okay. And in 2005, Lancet has published one article, Lancet journal, a very well-established journal, that chemo-prevention, they also use word chemo-prevention. But then, it got confusion. Chemo-prevention, some people thought that it is a chemotherapy prevention. No, it is not chemotherapy prevention. It's a cancer prevention. So cancer prevention or onco-prevention or chemo-prevention should play an important role. It has given a pyramid that at what level. So first is screening is very essential.
Yes.
Okay, you screen the mass, you find out those who are the risk of having cancer, you give them, proper onco-preventive lifestyle, medicine, whatever is established, proven. And if somebody still suffering from cancer, diagnose early cancer, okay, so you can have some, again, onco-preventive pathways. Those who are treated, okay, by conventional chemotherapy, surgery, radiation, again, you continue giving onco-preventive treatment so that there is no relapse. So this is a wonderful pyramid. It was mentioned in 2005 Lancet journal, and also subsequently in other journals they cited this. So this is all about onco prevention.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you for beautifully highlighting that. I think oncoprevention is valid at the entire continuum of cancer care from initiation and also preventing metastasis and relapse. That's really insightful. So, building on that, what insights can you share about like coming to diet now? So, high fat diets and obesity from an Ayurvedic perspective. And if you could also highlight some molecular mechanisms on how they affect the metabolism and immunity at a cellular level, that would be really helpful.
Yeah. So till now, till few years ago, conventional treatment provider, they were not believing so much in diet. But now it has been established that cancer is not just because of the tobacco or excess of alcohol. Cancer is also because of the physical inactivity. Cancer is also because of the unhealthy processed diet. In fact, in 2013, Nutraceutical Journal has published one article which says that westernized diet is more prone to inflammation, autoimmune, and neoplastic disorder. So all kinds of, the fast food diet, unhealthy diet, lack of proper sleep, lack of proper exercise, then chronic inflammation, chronic stress, all these things are very essential. They play very important role to modulate your gene. What Ayurveda says that not all these things are established in Ayurveda. So Ayurveda says if you do not do regularly yearly panchakarma, that is, body cleansing kind of thing. If you do prolonged fasting, or if you do overeating, if you eat excessive salty, excessive sweet food, excessive oily food, if person is, the word is used santarpanjanya, means overnourished, okay, the fat and obese. So these people are prone to develop, the chronic low-grade inflammation. Okay, multiple abortions, unsafe sex, all these things are being mentioned in Ayurveda. Having curd, excessive curd. People are fond of eating curd because it is high protein or because of the lactobacillus and whatever. But curd is absolutely histaminogenic. Okay, so having curd, having non-compatible combination means mixing milk and curd together, mixing milk and fruit together, mixing milk, curd, and fish or non-veg item together. So these are all non-compatible combination. According to Ayurveda, this generate number of inflammatory molecule, and actually it stimulates oncogene and inflammation. Then infected food, toxic substances, those who are having irritable bowel syndrome, Sthaulya, as I said. So these are the factors, which are responsible for actually for the modulating the genes and causing the cancer. Now, one fact sheet by NIH NCI, it has said that even if person is having cancer variant gene, it doesn't mean that that person will have cancer unless and until all these factors are there. These genes are silent. So there is a theory whether cancer is genetic or whether cancer is non-genetic. So what I feel, and again in 2008, Journal of Pharmacology and other subsequent journals, they have published. So yes, there is genetic component. Yes, gene is dysregulated, but who has dysregulated that gene? Who has stimulated oncogene? It is not inherited factor. Inherited is only 15%. So that is inherited genetic, what we call dysregulated gene stimulation to the oncogene. But 85% of the cases, the oncogene is stimulated because of the all these wrong diet and unhealthy exercise and unhealthy compatible of food, pollution, obesity. So these are the factors which are responsible for stimulating your oncogene. So this is what we say. Now, when I talk about Ayurveda, if you look at the cell, in a cell, there is only one nucleus, which is a very strongly protected. It's like, your bank vault. It is very difficult to approach that. Plus, there is a nucleus, there are coverings are there. But in a cell, every cell, there are around 400 to 1000 or 2000 mitochondria, which are called cellular powerhouse. You being a student of physiology and cell biology will accept to that, will understand that. So there are more than 400 to 2000 around mitochondria are there. And all these factors, unhealthy diet, non-compatible combination, the pollution and alcohol and smoking, etc. All these things, they first affect your mitochondria. And mitochondria and nucleus, they are always in a connection with each other. The nucleus gives signal to the mitochondria regarding the requirement that I want a fatty acid, I want energy, something like that. And mitochondria consumes whatever food has been provided to that cell from the glucose breakdown and converts it to the raw material and energy and gives signal to the nucleus. Now here is, something goes wrong. Because of number of factors, mitochondria is not working properly. The Krebs cycle and the electron transport chain, which is responsible for producing the ATP energy, so they do not work properly. And instead of, so if you consume one molecule of glucose, your mitochondria will produce 40 molecules of ATP and produces balanced amount of heat, and it also produces fatty acid, amino acids, and nucleic acid. But in cancer or in this, dysregulated mitochondria, what happens is mitochondria is not able to work out efficiently. It sends back the pyruvate or acetyl coenzyme A, which it has received from the cell again to the cell. And this pyruvate is fermented by lactate dehydrogenase to the lactate, which is like a fermentation. Fermentation process is happening. And in this process, the glucose is able to break down to produce only 2 ATPs instead of 40 ATPs, which is a normal oxidative phosphorylation. So this anaerobic metabolism has set in spite of having proper oxygen. So because of which lot of lactic acid is produced, and in that production, raw material production is increased. So now mitochondria has produced more amount of fatty acid, more amount of amino acids, more amount of nucleic acid, and this signaling is given to the nucleus. Now nucleus has to utilize this excess amount of raw material. So what nucleus will do? Nucleus will suppress the controlling factor like P53. Okay, it will control. The P53 is the when cell cycle is going on. If something is gone wrong, P53 will suppress that abnormal cell, will kill that. But nucleus will suppress that. Okay. Then nucleus will enhance your cyclin dependent kinases and will multifold do the cycle, your production of the cell will increase. Okay, so there is an enhanced production of the multiple cell. One cell before dying, it gives rise to 2 cells, but now in this cell is giving rise to number of more cells. Plus, because of the lactic acid, your immunity is not able to kill this abnormal cells. So even in our body, every day lakhs of cancer cells are being produced, but your immunity, destroys them. But because of this excess amount of lactic acid, your immunity is not able to work efficiently. Your number of cyclin dependent kinases, growth hormones, mTOR receptors, pathways, all they are stimulated very fast. Okay, your controlling mechanism, apoptotic mechanism, p53 molecule, they all are suppressed and cancer process sets in. So actually, if you ask me and number of scientists from USA like Dr. Stefried and other scientists, they have done number of research and they have proven that mitochondrial dysfunction is actually a triggering factor to stimulate oncogene. And that's why, mitochondria is the seat of metabolism. So according to them, cancer is a metabolic disorder. And I also accept to that. And if you correct the metabolism, definitely cancer process is arrested and you can do cancer prevention very well.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Kochar, for elaborating it in so much detail. It's really very informative for all of us. And you'd also highlighted that cancer is a low-grade inflammatory disease, and how mitochondria also affects not only the oncogene or the p53 pathway or the kinases, but also the immune cells. They are not able to recruit the immune cells that they are supposed to recruit. So that's a really interesting factor. I would like to ask you, like, what does Ayurveda have to say about cancer as a low-grade inflammatory disease? Can you elaborate on that, the Ayurvedic perspective?
Sure. So you will be surprised that in Ayurveda, in Sushrut, word is used arbuda. Arbuda means cancer. And Sushruta has written another word. Many people might have missed that because in a very small caption, Arbudadnyaha means the one who is expert in the treatment of cancer. So that is called Arbudadnyaha. This is the word used by Sushruta. And there are hallmarks of the cancer.
Yes.
Like what we say, uncontrolled growth. Okay. Then replicative immortality. Okay, so cancer cells do not die and they keep on replication. So Ayurveda exactly says the same thing, that what dhatu vruddhi mahantam, continuous mahanantam, very large amount of dhatu vruddhi. Dhatu means tissue. So constantly dhatu are increased, they are proliferating. A specific word is used, chira vruddhi. Chir means when we give blessing in Hindi or Marathi or Sanskrit, Chiranjeeva Bhava. Chiranjeeva means you be immortal. This is what generally, if you take the blessings of, your senior people, your elderly, your parents, they say Chiranjeeva Bhava. So the word Chira Vruddhi is used in this Arbuda. So what they say that Dhatu Vruddhi Mahanatama Ana Alpa Moolam Vruttam Sthiram Chira Vruddhi. Okay, so anananta moolam, ana alpa moolam means it keeps on growing to the deeper and deeper tissue. There is a angiogenesis. So uncontrolled growth, replicative immortality, angiogenesis, okay, then immune evasiveness and chemoresistance, and most important, dysregulated metabolism. These are the 6 hallmarks of the cancer according to the latest modern protocol,
And
which
also
is
the
a Journal of Discovery.
dysregulated gut microbiota is also there, which I
That
think
is
is
added
beautifully with
on.
Ayurveda as well.
Yeah. So this is from Journal of Cancer Discovery 2022, American Association of Cancer Research Guideline. So these are the 6 hallmarks. They have also added phenotypic plasticity and other things. So exactly all these 6 things, when Ayurveda says Sanchaya, Prakopa, Prasara, these are Shat Kriya Kal, this exactly fits into the modern hallmarks of the cancer. Dhatu Vruddhi, Analpa Moolam, Vruttam, Sthiram means the growth is very roundish kind of thing. It is very immovable. It is very hard, stony hard. Apakam Mandarujam means it's a low grade inflammation. Then there are two words are used, Adhi Arbudam, Dvi Arbudam. Adhi Arbudam means the arbud means cancer, the growth occurs at the same place again. Arbudam means same cancer, same tissue, okay, appears at 2 different places. Say one at the breast, the same you can see in the bones, or one in the prostate, the same in the bones or the lungs. So this is called Dviarbudam. Okay. Kalantarena asadhyaha. So if you come across this kind of, the relapses or the spread or metastasis says, even Ayurveda says, these are asadhya.
Mm-hmm.
These are not curable. So somebody, many people come to us as an Ayurveda doctor, you are a magician, you can treat, you can cure fourth stage cancer. So
Mm-hmm.
my honest and humble, the opinion or advice to them is no, even Ayurveda says ki if there is a relapse has already occurred, if metastasis has already occurred, fourth stage, in that case, it becomes difficult to treat it. They are not curable. We can just give a palliative kind of thing. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
complete science. This is not something, magic. So you have to hit before it hits you.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what Ayurveda says. Anuhi bhutva prathamam rogam paschata vi vardate sa jata mulo mushnati ayum balam ayushcha. So you have to diagnose when cancer or any disease in a very, very early stage. Anuhi bhutva prathamam. So anu shabda is used in Ayurveda. When in a very primitive stage, you use whatever best you can do for the diagnosis. Take all the help of modern tools and kits and all whatever gadgets you can have. You have the clinical examination expertise in that, okay, and you diagnose as early as possible and treat it. Okay, so this will definitely help cancer patient to have a healthy longevity,
Mm-hmm. Yes, I
cancer
think,
free longevity.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Kochar. That was a very valuable insight.